hitting hard. CEOs are taking pay cuts. There's a hiring freeze in many firms, and some have even started warning of job cuts. On the show today, we also asked, with the slowdown intensifying, will pay cuts and job cuts become the norm? Let's introduce our guests on the show today. We've got Mr. Vishnu Dusad, MD and CEO of Nucleus Software Exports. We've got Mr. Shiv Agarwal, Managing Director of ABC Consultants, with me here in the Delhi studio. Also, Mr. Krishna Kumar Natarajan, MD and CEO of Mindtree Consulting, will be joining us from Bangalore. Mr. Manish Sabharwal, CEO of TeamLease, also joins us from Bangalore. Professor Krishanu Raksha, Chairperson of the Career Development and Placement Cell of IMC, joins us from Kolkata, and Mr. Arup Roy, Principal Analyst of Gartner from Mumbai. Thank you all for joining us to share your views on this very, very pertinent discussion on the way forward with regard to the job market. But first, let's take a look at some of the recent trends.
The pressures of a global slowdown and a slowing world economy is now making its presence on the Indian job market as well. Infosys, India's second largest software exporter, has delayed bringing on board nearly 28,000 engineers hired from campuses to as late as July 2013. However, it's not just Infosys. Several other banking and financial service companies are already on pink slip mode. While HSBC has laid off over 1,000 people in the last 1 year, some others like Citibank, Barclays and Nomura have retrenched nearly 1,500 employees. Headhunters say that the global instability coupled with cost-cutting measures have led to a decline in hiring activity within these sectors.
I think the predominant factor remains the economic instability which is being faced not only domestically but also overseas. The US instability, the instability in the Middle East. So that's pretty much driving a large chunk of decision making of projects which are being offshored, and obviously India takes a large impact of that.
If an analysis by the HR firm TeamLease is to be believed, hiring activities across all sectors have witnessed a sharp decline of nearly 30% in the last few months of 2012. The BFSI segment, amongst others, accounts for 20% of that number. The IT sector has also witnessed a significant dip of 20 to 25%, which has also resulted in campus hiring shrinking by a whopping 30%. And with increasing retrenchment crisis, companies are also approaching headhunters for outplacement services.
After appraisal season, there are some people who are not happy with how things are going, or appraisals are not going well. And these are mainly significantly senior decision makers. So in those cases, there is outplacement does kind of come in as a service, and it's happening, but it's not that frequent. It is kind of increasing slowly.
But the big question remains, will hiring sentiments improve or will it deteriorate further? Not many are hopeful, especially looking at the way the global uncertainties are progressing and the poor investment climate back home. So keep your expectations in check, and let's just hope the clouds of uncertainty pass by in 2012. In Mumbai, Arjun Chaudhary, NDTV Profit.
Plenty of clouds of uncertainty, and what is very obvious now is that we're seeing it impact the job market in a big, big way. Let me start by asking Mr. Vishnu Dusad, who's one of the top IT honchos who's actually decided to take a salary cut. Mr. Dusad, the need for taking a salary cut, is it all about leading by example, setting a trend really, or simply asking employees that they need to buckle up?
As far as the salary cut is concerned, it was coincidental, directly linked to the profits of the company. However, I think the fact remains that we as an industry need to be far more competitive. Thanks to the consistent rise in the salaries, over the years, over the last 5 to 7 years, we have already become uncompetitive, and we certainly need to buckle up in terms of the amount of hard work that we put in when we when we are servicing our customers, or when we are delivering value to our customers, and the compensation that we get. So yes, we do need to make a change in this particular equation.
But does that salary cut, Mr. Dusad, make a material difference to the financial, or is it more about sending out a message really? It's more tokenism, if I'm correct.
Absolutely, it is more of a token, because one person's salary does not make a make any difference to the overall numbers. It's just a token. What is more important is, as I have mentioned, we need to increase the quality of our delivery. As an industry, I'm saying, also as a as a country, we need to improve the quality of the delivery. We need to increase the price performance of the industry as a whole, and that is where we need to provide focus by improving the quality of our education, by improving the pipeline of the talent that enters the industry, and in turn then delivering the far better quality output to our customers.
All right, let's also try and make sense of the trends that are emerging really and how bad the situation is. Mr. Shiv Agarwal, you're really someone who represents the market. As a leading headhunter, do you see an obvious slowdown in the hiring process?
Bottom line, yes. I think there is there is a hiring. I think the TeamLease survey is broadly right to me. We're seeing at least volumes fall by 25-30%, pretty much across sectors, some worse than the other.
All right, Manish Sabarwal, if you could make sense of the kind of numbers and the kind of slowdown that we've seen in the hiring process of late, how grave is the situation really, and is it going to worsen here on?
Well, it's important to put it in perspective. It isn't yet as grave as 2008. There is a massive slowdown, of course, because the three superstars of the last 5 years were retail, telecom, and financial services, all three who are missing in action. But I mean, given that those three superstars are missing in action, we obviously have seen a huge dent in the number of organized employment open positions that we have. But there is a funny sort of holding up of the market as of now. I think we're dangerously approaching the point where corporates will start making difficult decisions. But as of now, there's a curious divergence between, I think, consumer confidence and corporate confidence, which is why the market has held up. Otherwise, given the global meltdown and the Indian sort of political traffic jam, we would have expected a much bigger meltdown than the 25-30% we're seeing. But it's an important opportunity for us to sort of take stock and fix things before they get worse, because they can get much worse.
Well, but what we're seeing really is IT is one sector, information technology that's perhaps worst hit. Is that something that your survey also points out? That's the IT sector that's seeing the maximum amount of slowdown. It's also a sector that sees a lot of recruitment activity take place, and that's one sector that's been worst hit.
Yes. I mean, I see there's also a divergence happening between India as a market and India as a production base. India as a market is holding up in some sectors. India as a production base, particularly IT and ITS, is getting hammered because of the global uncertainty. I think there is a bit of a, there will be a bit of a comeback because the rupee has gone down, and in our experience, when people take a second look at India as the global slowdown happens, India becomes attractive. But yes, the knee-jerk reaction for IT has been right now is a massive sort of hammering on open positions, on taking new hires, on deferring new hires, on their increments, and overall the attractiveness of the sector as an engine of job creation, which has been for the last 5 years.
All right, Mr. Arup Roy, give us an indication of whether you also believe that the situation right now is not as bad as 2008, as Manish was telling us that yes, we've seen that sharp slowdown, we're seeing IT firms getting badly hit, but we're not in 2008.
Well, yes, I agree. I mean, it is not as grave as what we saw in 2008. But it isn't as rosy as it used to be, especially for these Indian IT service providers who used to clock, say, 24 or 25% year-over-year growth rate. So we are certainly not going to see that level of a growth rate for these Indian IT service providers, primarily because of the global meltdown, the sovereign crisis in European region. For that matter, if you look at the emerging markets now, so those emerging markets promised a lot in terms of the growth story for these providers, but that growth story is yet to be seen. I don't see India, I mean, of course, of late we have seen that the growth story over here in India has slowed down to a certain extent. but I still believe that there is a lot left in the growth story as far as India domestic market is concerned.
We'll try and discuss the way forward from here. Where do we see the job market going? Where do we see the IT sector going, particularly that's facing that kind of sharp slowdown? Mr. Vishnu Dusad, if I could come back to you and ask you a question. Given the sharp slowdown we're seeing, would you actually advise your peers in the IT sector as well as across sectors to actually take that step of taking that salary cut so that at least employees feel that it's not something that is being done only at the lower levels, and it's the CEOs, it's the head honchos who are also saying, see, we're doing our bit in being more cost conscious, in contributing to, in some ways, to the overall slowdown that's impacting the company?
No, certainly this could be one of the indications or one of the messages that can go out. But more important than this message is the fact of identifying what is the value that we as an industry, we as a company, we as an individual can deliver, and how do we improve the quality or how do we increase that value for our customers, for our customer as an individual, customer as a company. And that is the focus that would deliver better price performance and help us remain as relevant as we have been in the past, and that is the price performance focus that will help us improve or maintain the growth rate that we have seen despite the global slowdown. That is my take on how do we need to move forward.
All right, Professor Krishanu Rakshit, perhaps B schools can best tell us the kind of slowdown that we're seeing in terms of placement offers or indications coming from companies across the board. What are the kind of trends that you're seeing and the trends that you're likely to see given the past experience as well?
Well, good evening to all of you. The kind of trends that we've been talking predominantly in the IT sector or the banking sector or the BFSI in general, see what we have witnessed over the last decade or so, that movements have been happening, and we tend to see certain sectoral movements. Now, when we were talking about placements in 2009, we had also were looking at a very gloomy picture because 2008 September was the bad news month, and then we actually thought that the placements as far as banking sector is concerned would be fairly down. But what we realized over the next few months is that suddenly we saw the emergence of the Indian banking market, and we saw a lot of placements happening in that sector as well. But given all that, in the current, I've been hearing other panelists' views as well, and what I realize is there is a sense of gloom. There is indeed a kind of deeper sense of gloom compared to and across the sectors as we see it today compared to 2008, because 2008 is largely sort of looking at the banking sector, but today we see a manufacturing sector is not performing that well. So there is a gloom. To be realistic, we are perhaps looking at numbers that are going to fall. But what we have seen is that traditionally, some of these sectors which are doing not so well, and we see hiring in other sectors coming up. So we are now looking at, in the last few years, we've seen a very healthy emergence of entrepreneurial ventures coming up, so startups hiring more and more. We've seen marketing companies being in favor with the students, and we are also seeing a lot of recruitment from the manufacturing sector as well, although that was the last year's thing. Given this current slowdown in the manufacturing sector, I'm not too sure about this year. But what we have seen is overall the numbers do not really go down, so there is not realistic sense of panic as such in the campus. But yes, of course, there will be certain amount of rationalization across the numbers, the figures that people get, because many of these banking companies have been paying a lot of money, and maybe some of these foreign postings might come down, but that's all in the realm of speculation, because at this point in time, we are still hopeful that the numbers will be fairly okay. But, time will tell.
Right, Mr. Agarwal, give us the sense of sectors which may be slowdown proof. We can't say recession proof, but slowdown proof, sectors that have not been impacted at all.
Sure.
And then we also talk of compensation trends.
So I think we're seeing a lot of action still in sectors like e-commerce,
Okay.
education, healthcare, pharma, where
And
we really haven't
there's no
seen
slowdown in hiring there.
No, not really. I think a lot of this is to do with PE money money flowing into some of these sectors.
Right.
But we haven't seen anything major. In fact, some of them are actually using this time to go out and hire from the IITs and IIMs because exactly what he just said,
Yeah.
that normally talent isn't available because they're all going to the banks.
And banking is seeing an obvious slowdown.
Yeah,
and
I think
that's why.
so. So we're seeing, if you look at sectors that employ a large number of people, so if you look at retail banking, if you look at telecom, retail itself, we're seeing things really go slow. IT, of course, go slow there, and hence it's beginning to look probably worse than it actually is.
Is it worse than it actually is, or is it just looking worse than it actually is the next question. I'll actually take that forward to Manish to get a sense of what's really going on. Manish, even in terms of compensation trends, is the slowdown really showing up in the compensation packages?
I think so. I think, I mean, there's a broader trend. Maybe corporate India at the top level has overpriced itself anyway, and a correction was overdue. I firmly believe that there has been a bubble at the top CXO level at the 4-5 years. Some of that may be correcting as a natural process. But yes, I think people are not in crouching position yet, but they're clearly being defensive. They're not doing any anticipatory hiring. They're blunting salary hikes. And that's probably prudent. I think it's in our hands on whether this sort of caution converts into sort of the panic which happened in 2008. There's also one key difference between 2008 and now. In 2008, we had a generation of managers who had never been through a slowdown. So they overreacted. They not only cut fat, but they also cut muscle. And they missed when the market came back. So this time they're being a little cautious. But I think some of that caution is now starting to wear thin, and most of them are starting to make plans at least for controlling employee cost overall.
Right, Mr. Arup Roy, so what we're really going to see here on is a bit of a wait-and-watch situation by most firms, where they're waiting to see how the international situation unfolds, how the Eurozone crisis really pans out here on, how India is able to tackle its own slowdown story. So is it a wait-and-watch really, and it may not get as bad as what many people are fearing? We may not see across the board salary cuts and job cuts coming.
I think so. I kind of agree to that phrase of yours. It is going to be a wait-and-watch story for most of the Indian IT service providers. In fact, they have kind of learned from the 2008-2009 downturn times, and I'm of this strong belief that this slowdown kind of acts as a catalyst for the uptake of offshoring or global sourcing, for that matter. And the IT firms realize that quite well. In fact, some of the firms went quite aggressive during that time, and they kind of reaped benefits of being aggressive during the downturn times. So I think some of the other peers would take some cue from the actions that their competition took at that point of time, and might do so this time round as well. But the fact remains, this is going to be a cautious market in 2012. But moving forward, in my opinion, I think it is certainly going to beef up the demand for offshoring.
Mr. Dusad, a question to you really on whether we're pressing the panic button a bit too soon with the kind of salary cuts that we're seeing. Also because any such decisions and announcements also overall adds to the gloom and doom scenario, something which is perhaps not the right thing to do at this point, where the sentiment can turn around very quickly with some bit of positive news coming.
Yeah. So we need to clearly differentiate between the two items. One is the salary cut and the other is the gloom. I don't think we should link salary cut in any manner whatsoever with the reduce in demand, if any, or for that matter the global slowdown and so on. The salary cuts are today necessary essentially to remain competitive, and that is where I would like to stop as far as this particular aspect is concerned. Now, talking about gloom, I don't think there is a need for us to press the panic button. There is so much demand for solutions that continues to be there. All that we need to do is instead of waiting for the orders, we need to prepare the solutions on our own proactively, and then the market is ready to accept those solutions. And that is the focus that we need to move towards as an industry, and certainly as companies and even as individuals. I know we talked about entrepreneurship at IIM Kolkata. Yes, more and more apps are getting developed by small groups, and we notice that they're getting sold in millions over iStore and so on. So I guess we need to move in these new business models. We need to move fast there and make sure that the talent that we have is put to use. We as an industry have learned a lot about how the business runs in different parts of the world, and we've been doing it in the form of projects. All that we need to do is convert those projects into products and create offerings which are far more better in price performance.
Right, so clearly IT companies also relooking at their business models, at their recruitment models. We've also got Mr. Krishna Kumar Natarajan, MD and CEO of Mindtree Consulting, joining us now from Bangalore. Mr. Natarajan, many thanks for being with us on the show. We've been discussing the kind of slowdown that the IT sector is seeing and the clear impact it's having on jobs and compensation. Your views on whether job cuts and pay cuts will become a trend here on?
Siddha, my perspective on this is I think there's a lot going for the Indian IT industry. We are here talking about an industry which is 2 trillion in size, of which the Indian IT industry is just 100 billion. So we just have a 6% market share. So the opportunity for headroom and growth is substantive. Yes, there will be short-term hiccups, which is what is currently happening. And I tend to agree with Vishnu that it's not that there's gloom and doom. Yes, there is slowness in the market. Customers are taking longer to decide. But clearly, the opportunity for Indian IT industry to make meaningful IT solutions for the customers and for them to win in business is huge. So my argument would be, I think the real benefit and opportunity for growth in IT industry is still huge. Yes, we have had a phase of industry where the industry has grown from 100 million to 100 billion in about 17, 18 years. But I am very optimistic over the next 8 to 10 years, the industry can easily be between 300 and 500 billion dollars. And there are very few industries which are global in nature, which have such heavy or such large headroom for growth. That is just one perspective from the market opportunity angle. So I do think today the industry has created 27 lakh direct jobs and approximately about 80 million indirect jobs. There is an opportunity still for huge job creation. The industry has created jobs which are paying well. The industry has created entrepreneurs. So there's a lot going for the industry, and I'm very optimistic of the future.
All right, a very, very optimistic view there coming from Mr. Natarajan. Professor Rakshit, if I could start getting closing comments for everyone because we're running out of time. Tell us sectors that are looking more attractive to students now, given the kind of slowdown we're seeing in the IT space, given the fact that banking and financial services are seeing a slowdown. Do you think even students are now willing to look at other sectors which may not be as lucrative but are possibly new opportunities for Generation Next?
Yeah, actually, that's a great point, because what we also look at, like Mr. Dusad has been talking about, the correction. So this is also an opportunity of sort of the rational expectations coming into play. So earlier, most of the students would come in with very little information about what kind of careers they want to take up in their lives. They would typically come into the program thinking that they will take up an investment banking job. Now today, thanks to the all-pervasive gloom in the market about the banking sector and about investment banking, so there seems to be a certain amount of correction in the people's expectations as well. So what we are seeing today, that students who come in are more sort of amenable, they're accepting job offers from marketing companies, which do not technically seem that lucrative anymore from if you compare with an investment banking job, but they're happy with that because they're looking at interesting profiles now. They're much more rational in terms of looking at joining companies which are going to add a lot of value to their profile, not only as a big company, but as a profile in terms of what they can do in that company, what kind of roles they that get. And especially that's the reason, some of them are actually joining entrepreneurial companies. But coming back to the things that, other panelists had talked about, I think this correction was required at some point in time because in some ways the Indian industry, especially the IT industry, because we've been talking a lot about the IT industry, in some ways I think it has priced itself out of the market. So this correction was required, and in some of these irons.
Professor Rakshit, I'll take that point very quickly to Mr. Natarajan. Now, would you agree with Professor Rakshit, Mr. Natarajan, and what he's saying, the point that he's making, that a correction was overdue, and in fact, it's perhaps a welcome step?
I won't agree with Professor Rakshit on that, because I think if you really look at meaningful jobs which have been created for passing out young graduates, the IT industry has led the way, and short-term instability in the market should not definitely lead to what the real long-term opportunities are. In fact, I would think it's exciting times for young graduates to enter the IT industry because the industry is also maturing. Today we are doing leading-edge work for customers. Today some of the best products which are being used globally are being built by Indian IT companies. So I think it's a wonderfully exciting time for people who have the passion to make an impact to enter this industry.
All right, I'm going to give the last word actually to Manish Sabharwal to sum up our discussion today and to talk about hiring trends possibly here on. We're saying we're already at possibly an 18-month low when it comes to hiring activity. Is the worst really over, or will it get worse here on? Manish, quick comments from you before we wrap up.
I think we have no idea about that. I think it really depends on what happens in Europe. It depends on whether interest rates go up, and it depends on who's going to be the finance minister. So I think business confidence or animal spirits are clearly subdued right now. I did want to add that, I think companies will handle the whole salary cut versus job cut differently. In 2008, spreading salary cuts like butter was a bad idea because they lost many of their high performers. So as companies are making their plans, many of them have learned from the last downturn and are thinking about whether you cut jobs or you cut salaries across the board in very sophisticated ways. And I think that's going to be an important decision companies are going to at least have to plan for, if not make the decision, hopefully.
All right, tough decisions really for companies going forward. Cost cutting is something that will become absolutely necessary if the slowdown continues to intensify. So are we going to see job cuts or pay cuts or a simple freeze in the hiring process? That's something we'll have to wait and see. And as Manish was telling us, no one can really tell how the global situation and India's growth story pans out here on. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining us and sharing your views. We've run out of time on the show, but remember, you can send us your feedback. The details there coming up on your screen.